Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
Starting to pick up.
Yep. Well, that'll be great on live, on a podcast.
Hey, we may lose one of these canopies. There it goes.
Oh, boy.
I knew that was going to happen.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah, you're live, Irma. Welcome. What's up, Irma? How you doing? We got you. Hey, we're tapped into your computer there too, where you work. We can actually see you on video. I hacked your computer. So beautiful earrings today, Irma. You're always beautiful. Very nice.
You're so silly.
Man, I was typing quick and trying to hit buttons, and boy, we made it. I'm out of breath. That was quick. I've never been out of breath typing before. Okay.
Well, you might want to work on that.
We are here. We are live. It is overcast, but a beautiful start to a Wednesday.
That could be a new Olympic sport.
It could be. It could be. I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. But we are here on a Wednesday.
You have a story for everything.
We got a story. We got a story, Kaye, and it's going to be fun today. I want to welcome you in. Thanks for being here with us on a Wednesday. We are broadcasting live. It's Good Morning Huntsville. As always here, big thank you to Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, Mr. Rick Boehning and the lovely Miss Kaye Boehning. And Rick, welcome back. Hold on, Rick. Got a little theme song for you. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go, Rick. Let me make sure that we got this cranked up. Here we go. I'm going to tell all my friends because guess who's back? Rick Boehning is here. Welcome back.
I take it you missed me last week?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Well,
I was not even mentioned last week.
Kaye and I had some fun. I mean, let's be honest. We were kind of debating after. We were like, should Rick come back? And we did like a paper, rock, scissors. Kaye won, so we're good.
Wow.
Yeah. So welcome back, buddy.
I don't need to be here. It's okay.
We're giving you a hard time.
I know.
Man. It's always great to have you.
I want to be on here with Billy.
They said they couldn't hear it. Oh, man. Well, I don't know what happened there, Bill Doggett. I thought you could hear it. They couldn't hear the intro song.
I was chair dancing.
That's kind of weird that you didn't hear that, Bill. It was Slim Shady, Look Who's Back Again, Tell a Friend. And so we told everybody Rick Boehning is back here in the house.
Apparently you told nobody.
Didn't tell anybody. So, man, I really hate that. I got that all queued up, and I was all excited about it, and then, boom, it crashed.
He was telling Kaye that it was a surprise for me.
Yeah, it was.
I was surprised. It really was.
How you doing, man? Good to have you back. Good to have Kaye here. It's always good here at Good Morning Huntsville, and we want you to be part of the show today. We got a great show lined up. It's always a lot of fun here on a Wednesday with Rick and Kaye, and tomorrow's promise. Our good friend Vicki McKenzie coming in a little bit later to talk about Homes for Heroes, and she'll also talk about a little bit about Lasso Your Imagination. I know she's involved in that as well. She has purchased a table, and you're going to be hearing a lot about Lasso Your Imagination here over the next few weeks up until that event. Coming up soon here, pretty quick, Kaye. Do you know the countdown off the top of your head?
Too soon?
Too soon. It's coming too soon. October 14th is the official day, and we still got some opportunities. Tables are still available. Is that correct?
Just a few.
Just a few.
And I will be there in all my glory.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. We won't talk about our Christmas songs that we were singing before we went on the air. But we do have some breaking news this morning. Breaking news here on Good Morning Huntsville. It's very rare that we have breaking news. But breaking news, Rick Boehning apparently is a great singer. Breaking news.
Yeah, that's what I was told at church. There's somebody's evidently tone deaf. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me that said it.
No, she's never told me I could sing good.
In fact,
I've gotten a few dirty looks, like, you need to be a little quieter.
Simmer down now, son.
You're fibbing.
Oh, that wasn't you?
I've told you I like you singing. You just won't ever sing to me. So
No, but I've never been at church where someone has said, like, oh, that's terrible singing. I wish he'd stop. I mean, you're praising the Lord, you know? It's like, you may not have, like, good harmony and rhythm, but you're still singing your praises. So,
that's right. I don't know the words. I just
I've had people move away from me.
That's all right. That's okay.
Or put the person that is slightly deaf next to me.
I've elbowed people. You know, I was like getting into rhythm, and just some people were starting to get a little. They were just getting up in my business, man, just too close and up in my space. And I took my elbow and I just jarred them real hard.
Right.
Just kidding.
I cannot see you doing that.
I wasn't asked. I was kicked out of that church, by the way. Got a lifetime ban. Just kidding. That did not happen. Man, if you had there's a couple of funny stories. That's why I love this show, because it's, I mean, you talk about totally unscripted. You know, who knew that we were going to be talking about jarring people at church this morning when we came on? That is total jokes, by the way. But I do remember growing up at church, I would sing in the Baptist choir, and it was back in the good old, man, I miss the good old days. Just the good old, instead of the good old boys, just the good old days when you used to wear robes in the choir. And they don't do that. Do y'all do that at UHBC? See, they took away the robes. And there was something that was majestic about the robes in the choir. Even Lakewood back in the day, Lakewood Church, Houston, Texas, used to have robes. And this was back when John pastored the church. And man, it was hopping. They had the robes, and I mean, it looked like window curtains, but they looked great. And everybody's swaying back and forth, and I mean, you're just jumping and jiving, and everybody's having a good time. And then all of a sudden, one day, I guess somebody said, no more robes. But when I was a child I say child now, I was a senior in high school, and I wore our former judge's choir robe because he had left the church. He had moved away to another town, and it was Judge Wright. And I always remember, because Judge Wright was never wrong. And I had I fit into his robe. And so in high school, I would sing in the choir at church, and we had little metal risers there. And I will never forget, the sweet little lady in front of me said, I just love when you sing. And I said, why is that? And she goes, it massages my feet. So I was like, all right. So obviously I sang bass, and there was 4 of us, and I just deferred it to another guy. I was like, actually, this guy's more your age. He's the one that's massaging your feet. I think he was 80. She was 79. That was a much more of a match made in heaven versus, 80 and 16, but it's all good. Oh, man.
I can't say anything. I robbed a cradle.
You did?
She's a lot younger than I am.
Kay's a good lady, and we appreciate her. So, and it was a lot of fun. We were at HLI last week, and, got to experience a lot of great things. And there was a quote, Kaye, that I heard, and you reminded me of it this morning. What is that Wednesday wisdom? Can we make that the Wednesday wisdom?
If you want.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
If you can't say something good about somebody,
speak up, woman.
Keep looking until you can.
That's right. If you can't say something good about somebody, keep on looking until you can find something to say good about them.
And I've actually heard that twice in the past week.
I won't go on.
I forgot it was at HLI.
It was
listening to Podcast Saturday and heard that.
I won't get into the details. I told you all the story before, because I'm definitely not going to put down anybody. But there was a gentleman yesterday, came by and had his way of thinking about something, and I was telling you about him. And you stopped me and you said, Rob, remember, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything, say something, find something nice. And what did I say? I said, well, he had a nice cane.
There you go.
Yeah, so he was telling me that he wasn't a big fan of Huntsville, and he asked what I did. I will say that part. He asked, he goes, what are you doing here? And he was an older gentleman, probably in his 80s, and gruff and grumpy, and that's okay. I guess once you hit 80, you're allowed to be that way. I try to provide inspiration. Well, what are you doing here? And I told him, and he goes, well, there ain't nothing good about this town. I should have said, well, then why are you here?
That's the first thought I would have had.
So what I will say is, I did tell him. I said, well, actually, I disagree. I told him. I said, I disagree with you. I've been here for 4 years. Where'd you move from? I told him, well, that's why. And I was like, well, yeah, probably. It's, it's a great place. I came from an okay place, and now I'm in a wonderful place. But I should have just, I told him, I said, there's a lot. I disagree with you. There's a lot of great things happening in this community. I said, you know what? Why don't you get up and watch our show in the morning? You'll find out about all the good things happening.
There you go.
So, but he did. He had a really nice cane. So I will say that. Very nice, painted, beautiful cane.
And it's biodegradable.
Yeah, it is. It's wooden cane.
No,
she
he
said
is
he.
biodegradable.
We all are.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Well,
one of the good things.
sometimes I have to sometimes go past the biodegradable.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to end the show today. So thanks for being a part of it. Vicki, we'll have you on next week. She's eagerly awaiting, and we got her up for nothing. So we'll turn it off and come back on next time. No, just kidding. I do want to welcome in folks as well this morning. You are watching Good Morning Huntsville, where we celebrate all good things happening in our community. We highlight folks here in this wonderful place. And I do want to welcome in those that are listening this morning on the Spirit Radio FM app as well. A lot of folks are engaging in that app, and so we appreciate that. And there's quite a few of you that are on this morning listening on Spirit Radio as well. So thanks for being a part of it. And let us know this morning what you're thankful for as we get started today. Jennifer Augustinetti has already chimed in saying, good morning, Huntsville. It's a wonderful Wednesday. And I like what she said. She said, find a Bible study to go to later. So do y'all have studies at UHBC on Wednesdays?
We do on Wednesday. We don't generally go. We go to Bible Sunday school on Sunday morning, and then we go to service.
You know what I love around here? I've seen this at like all the churches here in Huntsville, and I don't know. It's like, I guess it's just not a thing back in Central Texas anymore. But it seems like every church here has a Sunday morning Bible class, which is great. Like where we go, there's a Sunday morning Bible class. Where you guys go, there's a Sunday morning Bible class. And I don't know what got lost in translation over the years, but I remember growing up, like every church had a Sunday morning Bible class. And so I go, and we're in a group I'm in a men's group called the Brotherhood Group. I'm by far the youngest in there. There's 6 of us. And I have learned, but I don't say that rudely. I say it because it's so great, because I'm around gentlemen that have been here for quite some time on this earth, but they have invested and poured a lot of life into me, and just hearing their stories. It has been a lot of fun being a part of that small group. And it's a really small group. There's only maybe 5 or 6 of us there.
There's probably about 10 or 12 in our group, and we're the brothers in Christ.
Oh, that's even better.
And I am one of the youngest ones in there. And, Rob, I'm 50 years older than you are.
So the acronym is BIC. We called that BIC in high school. If you went to BIC, it was a bad thing, because BIC stood for Behavioral Improvement Class. So really, you're in the Behavioral Improvement class.
It's not working.
Yeah, it's definitely not working. And it was, when you're a child growing up, I remember making up this dumb story that to this day I remember. It was the dumbest story I ever made up. There was a radio station in Austin called Froggy 94. And I made up this story that, oh man, have you ever driven downtown Austin? They have this big billboard and there's a frog and its mouth moves and it goes, Froggy. I had everybody at school believing that. Nobody could ever find it. So somehow I'm tying this into BIC class. Because there was this kid that came up to me. I never went to BIC. I did go to something, unfortunately, later on in high school. It was called GAP, which is not good. It was actually it was PIT. It was Prevention Intervention Training. I got in some trouble for hacking back in the day. We'll talk about that on another episode. When I was a junior in high school, I believe it was. I was a freshman. I was a freshman. But this kid made up. He goes, "Oh, in BIC, man, they only use BIC pens." I was like, why would they only use BIC pens? Oh, it's the things you say when you're a child.
You know how Sunday school got started?
How's that?
They met in order to teach people how to read using the Bible.
Did not know that.
So they called it Sunday school.
And I'm
they
still
met on
learning.
Sundays. And then it evolved, then public school system started, and then Sunday school became learning about the Bible.
Did not know that. And Rick is, like he said, still learning.
Yeah, I'm still learning to read.
You
I
know,
have to sound out a lot of stuff.
so I wanted to plug this real quick. My good friend Lisa Branch. You guys know Lisa. I've been going to Learning RX, and man, my memory is bad. It is like bad.
Hey, Rob, I'm Kaye.
What did I say?
See, she's confused.
Yeah, you've
you
already
did not say
confused me.
anything.
No, it is bad. And I've learned that long-term memory isn't stuff from 5 years ago. Long-term memory is anything that's 2 minutes ago and longer. And Lisa would start out, and she's helping me tremendously, by the way. Highly recommend if you need help, just trying to figure out what's going on with your brain. Lisa will take excellent care of you. She's been very good with me. I don't get frustrated.
I wonder if she can help with my book.
She might, the behavioral improvement class, yeah. But we'll start out, she'll say like 7, dog, 3. And then she's like, what was the animal? So those are easy, right? Mm-hmm. Or like cat, giraffe, 8, 7. What was the first animal and the last number? Those are easy. Well, by the time she gets to like dog, 7, 4, cat, apple, 1, 2, 7, 3, 4, what was before apple and what was after cat? I'm like, whoa, my brain has exploded. There are people that can do that are really good at it. Me, not so much. And it makes perfect sense because if you tell me a phone number, and this is why I tell people in radio that phone numbers do not work on ads unless they're catchy because people will not remember them. If I gave you a phone number, Kay, that's 7 digits. If we're talking area code in the last 4, right? They're the prefix in the last 4.
Yeah.
If I gave you a phone number, would you be apt to remember it?
Yeah.
If it was like 936, call us today, 936-297-1843. Would you remember that?
297-1843.
Would you remember it in 3 minutes? Probably not.
Depends on whether I wanted to or not.
But what if that phone number was, call us up at 888 tomorrow? Boom, you'd remember that easier, right? 888 tomorrow. Don't call that number. It doesn't exist. Maybe something not good, so do not call that. So I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there. But that's why I always tell people in radio ads, because I know that I'm not the only one that struggles with, with memorizing complex, long sequences of numbers and names. And so it's really important to think about those things, especially in your marketing strategy of how are you promoting your business? How are you getting your name out there? Because just think of Rob.
That's why many years ago when we got our phone number, it's 435-0303.
That's easy to remember.
Easy to remember.
Easy to remember.
That's why the DWI dude in Austin was 444-4444.
Yeah.
And DWI dude was on American Greed, and guess what? He ain't around no more. He got busted with the cartel doing some shady business. So it is no longer 444-4444. If you want to go to jail, call that number.
A lot of times I'm joking people. I'll tell them call 555-5555.
Yeah. So just think about all those things in life, and we'll get you figured out as well. Well, friends, we're going to step aside, take a break. Do want to remind you this week, the keyword, it's not tomorrow's promise, even though they're here. It's thunder. Little AC/DC thunder. Text that in along with your name on the Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line at 936-339-0139. Again, 936-339-0139 is that keyword along with your name, thunder, and your name. Rick, I know you text in from time to time.
I text in my first and middle name and thunder.
You get it, yeah. So text that in. Let us know that you're out there this morning, and continue keeping those comments coming in. Let us know what you're thankful for.
And we just talked about saying numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about it?
You just rattled off the string of numbers.
But see, we do it consistently like every single day, and people, they'll attach that 936-339-0139. I only know it because I say it every day. But the folks that watch all the time, they'll remember that number because we say it all the time, and it's attached with free stuff.
And it's saved in my phone.
And it's 936-339-0139, Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line.
It's saved in my phone.
Yeah, it's also saved in mine. It took me 10 years to remember Bridget's number.
The week of lasso, is the keyword going to be lasso?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We won't do lasso your imagination.
No,
We'll just do lasso. We should do lasso your imagination, get people frustrated, trying to text in a big long word.
How do you spell imagination?
Yeah. How do you spell lasso? L-A-S-I-E-O, lasso?
Lasso.
Ooh, that sounds better. Lasso.
My mother used to say rodeo as rodeo.
Well, was she from California?
Yes, she was.
Okay, that's why.
I don't know why she came here. But,
we were talking about that.
Oh, my dad was here?
Your dad got her here.
We were talking about that on the show. Were you guys on that episode? We were talking about rodeo versus rodeo.
Uh-uh.
And somebody was like, I'm from California. It's like rodeo.
I'm a native Texan.
Well, that's not the key word. The key word is thunder. And we'll step aside, take a break, friends. We got national news, much more happening. Vicki McKenzie joins us on the other side. Stay with us. It is your show, as always. Good morning, Huntsville.
USA News, I'm Lance Pry. New information has come out from the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability one day before the first hearing into the House's planned President Joseph Biden impeachment inquiry. Representative James Comer reported that President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware, was listed as the beneficiary address for 2 bank money wires, payments totaling $260,000 to his son Hunter from Chinese nationals. One of the Chinese nationals is reported as Jonathan Lee, who developed a business relationship with Hunter while Joe was vice president. The committee said both wires originated from Beijing and were delivered to the Biden home after Joe announced he was running for president. India made history last month as the first country to land near the moon's south pole, but several days after they were set to wake up, the Chandrayaan-3 moon lander and its sidekick lunar rover are not responding. The robots went to sleep in early September when night set in on the moon and their batteries drained. The next lunar day started on September 22nd and are not responding to commands and may be dead for good. The Speaker of Canada's House of Commons resigned yesterday over inviting a Nazi-linked war veteran to Ukrainian President Zelensky's speech last week. Anthony Rota, a liberal lawmaker who was first elected Speaker in 2019, initially declined to step down over the controversy, but eventually bowed to pressure from members of Parliament, including his own Liberal Party. A raging fire seemingly caused by fireworks at a wedding engulfed a hall with guests in northern Iraq today. Authorities are reporting more than 100 people are confirmed dead and roughly 150 others injured. The fire happened in an area just outside of the city of Mosul, some 205 miles northwest of Baghdad. Thanks for listening. It's well appreciated. We are USA News.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GEAR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kaye Boehning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life.
Huntsville, little Wednesday action going on. Little action jackson. I always love broadcasting when there's young people with their last name of Jackson, because I always give them the nickname of Action Jackson. He's never the last one. And people don't even know what I'm talking about. The Rock. I'm never the last one. Welcome back. I don't even know how we got into that. That's why I love it. Totally unscripted here on Good Morning Huntsville. That's why the numbers are dropping off this morning. Just kidding. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. We are broadcasting from our beautiful studio. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich and Elliot's Jewelers online at elliotsjewelers.com for all your beautiful jewelry needs. Elliot will take excellent care of you. He is heading to Antwerp. Going to be bringing back some more of those precious diamonds here to Huntsville coming up pretty soon. And, of course, we would not be here without our good friend Paul Oley as well. The gallery, and especially on a Wednesday or a Wednesday, however you feel like saying it this morning, just determining how country you are today. If you may be Wednesday, then you just slide on down your chair and say it's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. They'll take good care of you. Come on down.
Elliot's also very helpful with Lasso.
He is very involved with Lasso. By the way, we're going to bring on a special lady. She's sitting over here wondering, Rob, are you going to say hi to me? I'm just keeping the tent like this anticipation going. One awesome thing, too. Check this out. Tomorrow's Promise, they do great. You know what Kaye does with the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Yesterday, check this out, Walker County, 900 books, over 900 books now being sent out each month with the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Round of applause.
Actually, as of this morning, it's 915.
Six more already overnight.
15.
Yeah.
915.
Yeah.
915.
So it was 909 current total on that post. So you have 6 more since that post. Mm-hmm. Just keep signing up. Tell them you need to support Kaye and what she does with Tomorrow's Promise. That's what Lasso is all about. And we are here. Miss Vicki McKenzie.
Good morning.
Welcome in. Second appearance on the show, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it has. It's been a hot minute. It feels like you were just here, but that was, it's a couple of months ago.
You were just getting kind of rolling and everything, and yeah, it was really exciting.
I hear that rap song, watch me rolling, waiting. I'm just kidding. So
you are rolling along, though. It was great.
We were doing Rawhide earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling.
Yeah, Rawhide. I don't know. However you want to feel it this morning.
There you go.
Did you hear that bass coming out of Rick?
I'm telling you, man. I was ready to start.
Rick, when you were singing, my feet were vibrating. Can you? So that was a lot of fun. Welcome in, Vicki. It's so great to have you. Wanted to give you an opportunity this morning to start out and just talk a little bit about great things that you're doing in the community, and now excited to have you on our platform now with alongside Terry Coleman as our real estate experts.
Yes.
And so very excited about that. And Terry's kind of doing her thing. You're doing yours with Homes for Heroes and helping to promote both of y'all and the great work that you're doing. So just let us know. A lot of folks know who you are, and so we won't go down, the path of how you got here and all that fun stuff like we did before, but just let us know the real estate journey. How did you get involved in real estate? What led you down that path? And then now tying into Homes for Heroes.
Yes. My mom was a real estate agent whenever I was growing up for a while, and I just love the energy and the excitement behind the find of the house and just the level of service that you're able to provide somebody in such a big decision of their life. So I've been in the retail industry for over 30 years, leadership development and all that kind of stuff, but I prided myself on service. No matter where I was at, it wasn't just about great prices. It wasn't just about customer service. It's about everything, the find, the whole picture. And so I believe there's always something you can do. There's no such thing as no. There's just, let's see what we can do. We'll find solutions. So real estate is a whole lot of just finding solutions. And I, want to be that for people, whether it be budget solutions, helping them with budgeting to get their credit scores up, whether it be, finding a home that is very specific to their needs, whether it's a one-story, no cathedral ceilings with a pool.
Can you help me with Rick?
Yeah, I'm working on him, I promise. I had somebody that did not want their back patio on a west setting sunset. They don't want the sunset on their west patio. So that's the fun of really finding something that fits their needs and delivering and watching their face when they walk in and they're like, wow, this is the one, So it's super exciting. I love that. What I'm most passionate about right now, we're going to be going in front of the Planning Commission, is there was a community size called Simple Living District. And with our median household income, the average income will be able to be approved for around $180,000 to $200,000 home.
Oh, that's great.
Well, if
you're looking for that size home, that price range, it's very difficult to find. So I went out looking at different developers and different stuff like that and said, I want to find something that we're proud to deliver to our citizens and that we're proud to, offer, and that's going to last them and be a great investment. So we're actually going to go with a developer in front of the Planning Commission October 5th, and hopefully it'll be presented in front of council. And to make these houses affordable, the lots have to be smaller than the size lots that are required right now, so that they can get more lots on less square footage. So we're going to be working on that. Hopefully it'll pass, and it's going to be about 450 homes under 200,000. They are beautiful. They're little cottage-style homes. There's even 2-story, 2.5 bath, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So I cannot wait to bring that to Huntsville. As far as Homes for Heroes, I was able to give away almost $5,000 this week to a
saw
hero.
Some of that. Yeah,
yes.
Congratulations.
So we sold their home and bought them a new home, and they're going to be having a baby at the first of the year in their brand new home. And so whether you're buying or selling, I'm able to give almost a 1% rebate to the people who serve our community. So teachers, that's why I'm super excited to be here today, because education is so important. It develops the future of our community, our country and all of that. But love Kaye and Rick. I've been serving with them in different capacities and different stuff. And education is something that if I can give back to a teacher or administrator, then I'm super happy to say thank you for serving. And Homes for Heroes is my way of being able to still give back to the community and help them establish a new chapter in their life.
I like the fact that the heroes includes teachers.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a little biased, but, nobody can be in any other profession unless you have a teacher.
Absolutely.
And so it starts with the teachers.
Education is so important.
And parents are the first teachers, but, it starts with that. And one of the things I love about Vicki is she loves to go look at houses.
I do.
And so sometimes she just calls me up and says, or me and Rick, and says, I want to go look at this house. You want to go see it?
Just don't take my neighbors away from me, Vicki, okay?
Right?
I love them being right across the street from me. So
That's a blessing.
We go just for funsies and go and look at houses. And I mean, Rick does have a list. He wants to find a pool, and he wants to this, and I don't know that he realizes how much work taking care of a pool is, but
he's kind of got that pool boy look to him, though. The pool boy.
The cabana boy?
Yeah. He's the cabana boy.
I work with investors from Arizona, Seattle, just different places. And so really understanding and knowing what's available in the market and pricing strategies and stuff like that, it goes a long way. And taking the time to go out there and look what's in the community and see what's available really gives you negotiating tactics, I guess you could say, that help whenever you're trying to make the deals. So the more educated you are about what's out there, what's available, what stuff is selling for, it really does help whenever you get down to the negotiation part. So it's a kind of like, it was always a hobby of mine to research and look at houses and, that one's going for that. And I'd be like, that's too much, or that's too little, or that's going to sell fast, whatever. But whenever I got into real estate, now I have access to go look at those things and investors that I can call and say, hey, I went and looked at this house. You should see this,
Yeah.
And having someone to go with me and stuff. It's so much fun. It's like a passion that I just love.
Again, Vicki McKenzie joining us here, one of Huntsville's real estate experts, and we're excited to have her on. By the way, you can go to the website at hellohuntsvilletx.com. There's a special guides section there, and you'll see a link that says real estate experts, and you'll be able to see Vicki's articles along with Terry's on there. And it's a pretty great addition to the website, and we appreciate the support for being able to do that. Vicki, outside of that, I've been friends with you since I came to Huntsville, got to know you, and I just love your connectability to people and your heart to serve others. And that's why I really think, I think a lot of what you're doing with Homes for Heroes, this is an opportunity for heroes that you mentioned earlier, those that have served, those that are our public servants, those that are teachers, to give them a little cash back in their pocket when they purchase a home. Talk a little bit more, maybe explain that program a little bit more for folks so they get the full gist of what it is and what you're doing.
So during 9/11 2001, a broker wanted to find a way to help everybody that was involved in, that tragic moment, I guess you could say. And so they started Homes for Heroes, and when you hear Homes for Heroes, immediately people go back to thinking that you're just dealing with military veterans and people that are in the active or reserves for the military. But what I love,
heroes.
They are heroes, absolutely. But they took it even further, and they took it to, because it was around 9/11 and all the stuff that happened with that, it became a way to give back to first responders, which are fire, EMS, police, law enforcement, and then also to medical professionals. I mean, all of those people were on the ground. They were there fighting this and helping people. And so whenever they added the teacher aspect with the medical professionals, it just really broadened, because they are the heroes that are out there every day developing in our communities and, helping out there and serving and giving back of their time. I mean, I can't tell you how much medical professionals and, teachers do for their profession, inside their profession, that goes unnoticed a whole lot, So it's a way to give back. So whenever you buy or sell a home, Homes for Heroes will give you almost 1% back in the cash price of the house. So whatever is negotiated on the backside, it's whatever you paid for that house. If you get all kinds of concessions and stuff like that, repair costs, that doesn't get taken out of that number.
Wow.
It's on the sale price.
So if it's a $300,000 house, you're looking at $3K back in your pocket, possibly, somewhere around that.
I donate 30% of my commission. The hero gets 0.7%, so almost 1% back. Yes, so really nice. And then from that, there's also a foundation that Homes for Heroes gives to, and so they've given over $200,000 just in this last a couple years because of the money that we give, and it goes to foundations like I hope to nominate, like our Hearts Museum, nonprofit. We talked about Tomorrow's Promise and the Imagination. Library.
Yeah.
And so there's different foundations that hopefully the more I'm putting in, to this, and the more closings I have, the more influential I'll be able to be for Walker County and the needs here up in, Montgomery and Walker County. So I'm very excited for that.
Now that you mentioned teachers, but that includes child care workers
It
too,
does,
doesn't it?
yes. I mean, they're educators. So, I mean, what you want to look at is what your profession is a lot of times. And then, at the schools, we have administration. At the hospitals, we have administration. They are the people who are behind the scenes making stuff happen. And, we have the university. They're educators, So really and truly, a child care provider is shaping the lives. They are heroes, and so they do also qualify, and I'm super excited to be helping them.
Yeah, well, Vicki McKenzie again joining us today, our real estate expert with a great program here in Walker, Montgomery, and surrounding counties called Homes for Heroes that she is a part of, and just really helping those that are our heroes here and that just have a selfless sacrifice to help us, all of us, and so we appreciate it, Vicki. There was something that you said earlier that I really clung on to, besides Home for Heroes, is this development that you were talking about that you really want to see happen here in Huntsville. I have always had a tremendous heart and connection for affordable housing. I get frustrated when I see communities grow and they leave those that can't afford homes on the wayside. And, someone in my former hometown told me, because it got hard for me to live where I was at. And I had a business, and I thought I was making great money, but the tech influence, and I was involved in tech, I just didn't charge what I probably should have been. But that influence from Austin had kind of migrated north, and I'm not saying it in a negative way, but, I mean, it priced a lot of people out of town. The average home price in that area now is close to $500,000, and it's just unbelievable because I go back to 2006. I bought my house on 3/4 of an acre in a beautiful wooded lot on a cul-de-sac for $114,000. That house now could easily sell for almost $500,000. And, but, and that's all good and well if you're an investor or if you're someone that's in that line of business. But if you're somebody that just wants to live in the community, maybe you've lived there your whole life. And I'll never forget, somebody told me, and again, not being negative, but they said, well, maybe you should move if you can't afford to be here anymore. And it was someone that had just moved in a couple of years ago. And I said, that's not really fair. And that's not a fair statement. People should not be forced to move out of their community because they can no longer afford to live there. And so I really got behind a lot of affordable housing initiatives. There's this mantra, and I wanted to explain it. I know you'll echo this as well, Vicki, but there is this mantra or this stereotype that affordable housing means people that are committing crimes, that are tearing up stuff, that have junk all over the property, and you got to get that out of your mindset. Because there's a lot of that's not what it is. Does that happen? Yeah, it happens anywhere. I just drove through a really nice neighborhood in New Waverly, and there's junk all over the place.
Right.
It doesn't happen in just low income communities. It's just how people live, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But first of all, get rid of the mantra that it's people that are criminals and people that don't care about things. So that's totally false. Second, start thinking about college students. Start thinking about young people who've just graduated college. They can't immediately get into a workforce making $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year and expect to buy a house that's $400,000 or $500,000.
Right.
So this is why we need to have affordable housing, and affordable housing needs to be in the heartbeat of our communities, not on the outside, not thrown 20 miles outside of town. Because you go down to places like our beautiful restaurants all over town, folks that serve, that cook. They're not making $80,000 a year.
Right.
They also deserve a chance to live in the community that they love, and that's why when you started mentioning this, I got pretty passionate and pretty hot on the inside because I'm like, this is what it's all about. So maybe explain just a little bit more about your heart about that.
So really, I was looking into more retention. As city council, we were looking at how do we recruit people to the city to work for the city and stuff. And whenever we started looking at like the median income and different stuff like that, we started looking at like the university. How can we retain the talent that's being, educated over at Sam Houston State University? Why are they come here? They love living here for 4 years. They get really, they volunteer at all of our events with sororities and different teams and everything. And they really do love Huntsville. But whenever they graduate, they are moving away. And so a lot of times whenever I would talk to students and stuff, I'd say, oh, well, you're going to school to be a teacher. Well, are you going to apply at Huntsville ISD? It's a great ISD. We got so many good things happening there. Well, it's just so expensive to live here is what I hear. I had a kid that was going to college and wanted to do an internship with the city as well. And they wanted to, come on later on, and they're like, it's just too expensive to live in Huntsville. I kept hearing that a whole lot. And then I got into real estate, and the last year, as I've seen, so the average mortgage is factored on your income, and the way that they decide that, it's 28 to 30% of your income, right, for whatever you bring home every month. And so you start putting those numbers together, and you're like, okay, well, they can afford $1,500, $1,800 a month, and that's pushing a budget, for a family, of two incomes and starting out in Huntsville. And from there, I started looking, and I started noticing that there just wasn't any inventory available. I have people that are qualified, pre-approved, ready for loans for $200,000, between $180,000 and $200,000 that I look every day. Sometimes 3 times a day online, everywhere I can find. And
well, there's just not those starter homes.
There's not.
And maybe, a more
maybe it's a starter home instead of affordable home.
Another word that could be used is a starter home.
Yes.
The first time home buyer.
Right.
The first time home. Because my first house was a starter home. And I mean, it was a nice house and everything. And obviously, the next time I bought a house, it was a little bit nicer.
Yes.
And some people stay in starter homes forever.
Yes.
You know,
my mom's in 1,500 square feet. She's been in 1,500 square feet for 40 years. So yes, I understand.
But there's also a population out there of some of the young people that think or assume or feel that they're entitled to, oh, mom and dad are in a 2,500 square foot house. Well, I should have a 3,000 square foot house.
And that's sad, yeah.
And they're not making the funds to do that.
Or took the time to save and get the equity and all that kind of stuff.
So, but there's a little education sometimes that needs to happen in some of our children that they can't just go out and have that, what their parents have. They have to start with a starter home or more affordable home.
And affordable homes here in Huntsville typically are purchased by investors. They know that this is a great place for rentals. TDC brings in a lot of people from out of the country and stuff like that for work, and then the university brings in a lot of students. So anytime you're seeing a house in the $200,000 range, an investor or like BlackRock and different stuff like that, they're swooping up these houses as quick as the day they go on the market, and they're offering cash. So it's very appealing to make them rentals, and then they're charging more for the rental than somebody that would have a mortgage. So my goal in this starter home community, affordable housing community, is that there won't be rentals. It'll be deed restricted to no rentals, so that investors can't go in there, swoop them up, and turn them into rentals that are overpriced, that the average American can't go in and have a piece of the American dream.
I was going to ask if you were going to put a covenant in.
A covenant, yep, so that it can just be. And we may have a section of it that is allowed to be rentals, but for the most part, we want it to be home ownership only. And there are communities out there that are, but I've been doing a lot of research on urban planning and affordable housing, and the one thing that I've noticed is that whenever you start getting into lower priced homes, it's mostly LLC owned and stuff like that, and then they're turning around and renting them out. 9 times out of 10, whenever they've got the money out of it and they've worn it down to nothing, then all of a sudden it goes back on the market, and it's just a fixer-upper then for a starter home, you know.
Gone are the days of the sub $1,000 mortgage, and that's just the reality of where we're at. And that's been that way for a long time. When I was talking about the house that I'd purchased in Georgetown, I remember my mortgage was like $910 a month, and that was everything all in.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was only making $30,000 a year, but I had a brand new car, had a Jeep, and fellow old school Jeeper back in the day. I still wave at people, and they look at me because you're a Jeeper.
Yes.
And they look at me like, what are you waving at me for? I forgot. I was like, man, I've had a Jeep in like
It's a habit.
8 years.
Yes.
But I had that brand new Jeep in that house. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just saying how things have changed in the landscape. And Kaye, when you talked about being fiscally responsible, you know, those were things that I looked at. Of course, then I was single. I didn't have any children. There's no way I could pull that off now. But you know, and someone had warned me. They said, Rob, don't rush into this. Don't rush into getting a house because you're going to regret it. One person told me that, but everybody else said, you know what, you're making the right decision because the mortgage is actually cheaper than we were paying like $1,100 in an apartment.
Yeah.
I was like, why would I pay $1,100 in an apartment when I go own a house in a decent neighborhood, and a nice neighborhood actually, that on 3/4 of an acre for under $1,000 a no-brainer.
Yes, and it's building equity.
And it did, and because of that,
Well, you got the tax write-off back then too, and so even if you sold the house for what you owed on it, you had to live somewhere for the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was neat about, and this is just kind of the educational component you were talking about, Kaye, is you know, we had 16 years of equity built up in that house. And so when we came to Huntsville, you know, there was an opportunity for us, and we found a nice house here in Elkins, and someone's like, man, how do you afford to live out there? I was like, one, it's not terribly expensive. And then 2, we had 16 years of blood and sweat that I put into another house. So we were able to make a good down payment, and our mortgage, you know, is a little bit more than what we were paying. And now it was not. Let me clear the water real quick. It was not sub 1,000 by the time I left Georgetown. Taxes had went up tremendously, so we were paying a lot more than what I had originally started. The interest rate, I thought it was great back then. I was like 6 1/4, great interest rate.
Interest too.
And you know, and I got lucky before this whole new wave of interest rates hits, and I'll never forget Russell Barnett was helping me with some stuff here in town, and it's like, I'm sorry, man, I can't get you anything better than 2.8. And I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
Speaking of Russell, he got me a loan. We closed on, and between my negotiations and his digging, I guess you could say, we just closed on a loan for 5.14%.
Wow.
Yes.
That's good
so,
now.
That is unheard of. And it was super exciting whenever the Feds didn't raise the rates this last session and stuff like that. So, there's still good deals out there. There's still ways to get into a home and be able to afford one. And then the other piece of it is just taking your equity that you have, like you did. People can take their equity and, you know, really put a lot of money into it to where that interest rate is not so taxing, I guess, on your pocketbook.
Yeah. Well, Vicki McKenzie again here with us this morning. She is our real estate expert here on Hello Huntsville alongside Terry Coleman, and we appreciate you sharing some insight. Love the project you're working on there through the city, and also the Homes for Heroes that you're doing. Just two tremendous things that I know you have a heart for people and a heart to serve others, and that's so apparent in these two projects that you're working on. Speaking of a heart for others, I know that you're going to be at Lasso Your Imagination. I wanted to tie that in as well.
Yes.
You've got a table, and so what are you looking forward to in that event?
Night just out and having fun. I mean, I'm not much of a dancer or a singer, by the way. My dogs howl when I sing, I think. Or they're singing along with me.
That's
I
a
haven't
country
figured
song.
out.
The dogs howl when I sing.
Well, the
It's
Square
true,
Dance
though.
Club's going to be there, so you can watch them dance.
Yeah, so I mean, I had fun last year watching everybody out there dancing and stuff like that. I hope to win Elliot's necklace. It's so beautiful. I saw it online the other day. I was like, okay, I want to win that necklace. I need that. His work is just beautiful. I love going into his showroom and just drooling over all of his pretty stuff. So
Yeah, and he's expanded that showroom
I
now
know
too.
it's so big. It's even bigger. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, but yeah, I'm excited about just coming together with everybody. I have so much fun at events. You know, people that MC these, like, you know, you and Matt, and y'all make it fun. You make it a night out. And
Well, we pay people behind the scenes $5 to laugh and clap when we do it.
okay, well, I'm just doing it for free then.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
But yeah, I think it's so much fun just to get out there. I think I did the lasso, the little steerhead last time. Stunk at that too. So had a good time though. I think I got a cool prize for doing it. One of the prizes that we did. So I had a good time last year. It was fun. I got to see everybody, watch people dance. I might get out on the dance floor. Who knows? Just give everybody something to laugh at.
It's a great event, again, taking place on October the 14th. Lasso Your Imagination. A lot of folks from the community will be there, including Vicki, and still some tables available. Is that correct?
There's a few.
I know what I'm looking most forward to. Stacy's barbecue. Stacy Lowry. Yeah. His barbecue is so delicious. And when Kaye told me that, I was like, what are we having for dinner? And she said, it's a surprise. Stacy's cooking. And I was like, oh, I can't wait. I was like, I love everything he cooks. So.
And Billy Papanea's going to bring some boudin too.
Oh, so yeah, I need somebody to make a boudin that's not so spicy, because I love boudin, but I eat like the mildest version that there is, and I still like put crackers and stuff to try to tone down the heat.
I think he's making a mild version.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be
I'll have
first
to ask
in line
him,
for some of that boudin. That's for sure.
Oh, that boudin down here now. Get on down to Lasso Your Imagination. Get some boudin now.
It's going to be a fun night. Really is.
It's going to be great. We're excited. Looking forward to being there. And Vicki, excited for all that you do. Kaye and I have a DBA meeting. Normally we'd take a break here. We'd reset. We're going to keep you on this final segment.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we missed that you wanted to make sure that we highlight, Vicki?
I appreciate you guys, asking me to join and being a part of this. There's just so many great things going on in our city. Oh, Fair on the Square is coming up.
Yep,
There's a lot going on there. And I know that's a really big weekend for Huntsville. And I know DBA
and
looks
no
forward to
Piney
it.
Woods
Yes, yeah.
football game that day.
Yeah, so everybody that used to go to NRG all the time to go down there and participate in the game, they're going to get to actually really enjoy Fair on the Square.
Yeah, that was an excuse, though, because I broadcast the games for Sam Houston back in the day, and I would still go to Fair on the Square. Then
I went in the
would
morning.
Go, then I would go broadcast. So don't ever, you Bearcats, come on, don't use that as an excuse.
Yeah, I would go down to Fair
Now
on the
you
Square in the
need to
morning.
be there, though.
Or come Friday night for the dance, have a good time, dance with us and all that good stuff. And I think, is Talent Sausage doing the sausage again this year? That was fabulous the last couple years.
I'm
That
not
was
sure.
really good.
Yeah, not sure.
But yeah, come out, enjoy some dancing on Friday night, and then you could pretty much get your whole Christmas list checked off by October if you just go to Fair on the Square. I really believe that.
There's going to be 400 booths this year. They have expanded it. And
That's incredible.
two drop-off locations, 2 shuttle services.
Children's, I think 3
I
shuttles
love-
now, because UHBC,
UHBC, Bauer Stadium.
First Baptist is doing it, and
okay.
and then there's one other church that's involved, I believe, with shuttles. And
Well, I think you can go to Bauer Stadium and park there, or you can go to University Heights Baptist Church and park there, and then get shuttled in.
Very
and then the other thing too is 2 children's areas
Yes.
this year. It's going to
So
be
much
nice.
fun.
So,
Yeah. It was packed last year. I mean, it was a beautiful day. I mean, it's gorgeous and the weather's perfect. I always just pray for good weather for Fair on the Square, because there's not any worse thing than, not having a beautiful sunny day to go shopping.
Rain, tremendous amounts of rain in downtown Huntsville.
No, not happening.
We're going to have 400 vendors. I won't speak it into existence,
Swimming
so we're
away.
just going to leave it
it's
there.
going to be beautiful. Every year that I've been, it has been beautiful, gorgeous days. Like it happens at the right time, and I love walking around, seeing everybody. It was really funny because you'd look at the line for the funnel cakes and stuff like that, and I mean that food court area is just so packed. And I'm like, I always wonder, what is people ordering? So you start to look at their plates, and I love people watching.
Yeah.
And the kettle corn.
Yeah, the kettle corn's delicious. Yeah, street corn.
Yeah, I have to get a big bag, and then I enjoy it for
Yes.
several days afterwards.
Fair food at its finest.
It
And
is.
Rick doesn't like it, so I don't have to share.
Oh, you get it on your phone. Okay.
Perfect. Well, let's head over to our Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line. We have a winner today, and they are winning a ticket to Lasso Your Imagination.
Ooh,
And what is that?
dinner and fun.
$35?
$50.
$50. Here we go. Sorry, Rick.
I was looking at mine. It's like, did mine ring? I texted.
Yes, this is the city of Huntsville. We are calling about your gas meter. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm wonderful, and I can't wait to go. Gotcha.
No, I
Good
can't.
morning.
You know, Carolyn, I could trick people like the first 2 weeks, and then after that, it just doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't work anymore. I know. We're too used to it.
It does. Well, thank you so much for continuing to be a part of the show and engaging with us. It's Carolyn Gibson on the phone, and you have won a $50 ticket to Lasso Your Imagination. So we're excited to.
Oh my goodness!
Yep. So it's going to.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
And Kaye, I'm going to call you later. We talked about this Sunday, so
Yes, yes, we did.
I'll call you later this morning, and we'll work out my donation.
Oh, wow. So y'all go to church together, UHBC. Okay.
We do.
Great.
Yes,
Okay.
we do. Yes.
All right. Well, Carolyn Gibson, the winner, chicken dinner. It's not going to be a chicken dinner. It's going to be better than that on October the
You got
14th.
it.
So, well, how have you been,
Okay,
Carolyn? Everything
thank
going
you.
okay?
Everything's going really well.
Great.
Okay. Make sure you use the QR code, Carolyn, and register your ticket.
I will.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, Carolyn, before we let you go, what do you love most about Huntsville?
Oh, I love the people. It's just a wonderful community from the day I walked in here nearly 50 years ago. It's just been super. I love it.
Well, I always love having you on, and we were so excited. We're going to have you on again here in the next few months. Carolyn came on the show and talked a little bit about the history of Huntsville, which was exciting.
Aw.
So,
We'll do that.
well, Miss
We'll do
Gibson,
it.
we love you. We appreciate you. God bless you, and congratulations. Thanks for texting to win.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
All right, there she was, Miss Carolyn Gibson. She is the winner of Lasso Your Imagination. Big thanks to Clay Talsworth coming in today, hanging out in studio. Is from 0 Degree. He brought us some caramel. What were those things? Bourbon, a little bourbon caramel. Is it caramel or caramel? Some people say caramel. So I'm not a big caramel fan, by the way, but I'm going to save this and try it off air because I'll probably like it because it came from you, just letting you know. So, but go by and see Clay. You'll be there at Fair on the Square. He had 4,000 bags of candy he was putting together. And I guarantee every one of those bags is going to be sold by the end of the Fair on the Square.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, and he's donated to Lasso too, so some of his products going to be out there.
great. Well, friends, as always, thanks for being a part of the show today. Kay and I got to sign off. We've got to get over to DBA this morning. So we want to thank you. Thank you to Vicki McKenzie for being a part of the show today and celebrating all the things great happening here in our community. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Chris from the Color Bar will be joining us. I love what Justin's doing. He's with me the first Thursday. But then outside of that, we're going to have different employees from the Color Bar on each week besides the first Thursday when Justin will be on. So you'll get to know more of his staff. And we're going to have our good friend Clint Sandel joining us tomorrow. Talk more about how he's been doing and the success that he's having. So make sure that you join us again tomorrow, 7 a.m. as we continue to highlight all things
And he's bought a table
good.
too.
Wow. I think everybody in town's buying tables. So
It's going to be a place to be. That's right.
Kay's just flipping them out. Tables. You got to pay though. It's not, these ain't no gratis tables. You got to pay to play.
October 14th, right?
Yes.
That's right.
All right.
Well, friends, that'll wrap it up today. A big thank you to everyone interacting with us. We appreciate you. We love you, Huntsville. And as I end every single broadcast, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We truly need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you, Huntsville. Good morning, and God bless. We'll see you back at it tomorrow, 7 a.m.
Good
bright
day.
and early.
Enjoy.